Thank you. I'd like to thank all of the distinguished speakers on the dais, as well as thank the organizers for the kind invitation, and thank you for the hospitality you've shown us while we've been in your country. You'll learn more about my institution, the University of Pittsburgh, in our panel discussion, which will follow this inaugural session. So I wanted to give my perspective on technology transfer and commercialization in the U.S. as a whole. The field of technology transfer really got started in the United States in 1980 with the implementation of the Bayh-Dole Act. This modification of U.S. patent and trademark law provided for the transfer and ownership of intellectual property derived from federal funding from the government itself to individual institutions where the intellectual property was developed. With leadership from institutions like Stanford University, the Wisconsin Alumni Research Foundation, known as WARF, and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, there are now literally hundreds of individual institutions working to commercialize technology from academic research. Prior to Bayh-Dole, fewer than 250 U.S. patents were filed by universities each year. However, after and since 1993, U.S. universities have averaged more than several thousand issued patents annually. The Bayh-Dole Act and its resulting increase in activity also led to the formation of an organization called the Association of University Technology Managers, known as AUTM. AUTM is a nonprofit organization dedicated to sponsoring, supporting, and enhancing academic tech transfer profession through education, professional development, partnering, and advocacy. AUTM's more than 3,200 members represent technology managers and intellectual property managers from more than 300 universities, research institutions, teaching hospitals around the world, as well as numerous businesses and government organizations. One of the many contributions of AUTM is its annual licensing survey, where institutions collectively can access the impact of academic transfer on a yearly basis. These data are crucial, not only to examining the performance of an individual institution against its peers, but also to look collectively at the impact of these institutions together. For example, in the 2014 AUTM survey, the institution's reporting showed nearly 6,500 new U.S. patents issued, nearly 5,500 new licenses and options were executed, almost 1,000 new products entered the market, and almost 1,000 new companies were formed. All from academic tech transfer, all in a single year. Truly impressive numbers indeed. And in fact, technology commercialization has become a great driver of the U.S. economy. Since 1996, the results of academic technology transfer have added over $500 billion to the U.S. in gross domestic product and nearly 4 million jobs. Now in the U.S. and around the world, there's been more emphasis and resources put to academic tech transfer and commercialization and entrepreneurship than ever before. Now, virtually all institutions have centers of innovation and entrepreneurship, in addition to the traditional technology transfer, licensing, and intellectual property offices. And this activity increases on a daily basis. For example, at the University of Pittsburgh, in 2014, we formed the Innovation Institute by merging the Office of Technology Management, the Tech Transfer and Intellectual Property Office, the Office of Enterprise Development, an office focused on new company formation and support, and the Institute for Entrepreneurial Excellence, focused on the education, advocacy, and awareness of entrepreneurs of all types in Pittsburgh and our region in Pennsylvania. On this foundation, we've added new educational resources, new programs, physical space and support for student entrepreneurs, and a core of executives and residents and business professionals, all focused on new company formation and commercialization of research from laboratories at our university. This is the time of unprecedented levels of partnership between academic institutions and groups who support new company formation and growth, and support the interaction between academic institutions and other for-profit businesses. You'll hear about some of the tangible examples that we've seen of these organizations during our discussions later in the program. Now more than ever before, this new level of activity worldwide requires us to come together to discuss challenges and how we can solve them, mostly in partnership and exchange best practices with each other. How do we identify intellectual property, not that's just protectable, that has commercial potential? How do we get companies and investors interested in our technologies? How do we market these technologies worldwide? And how do we work around the world to ensure our technologies and products impact as many people as possible? Because at the end of the day, these have to reach people, have to reach patients for the benefit of society. Hopefully, we will have discussion at this conference and in the Global Intellectual Property Conference to follow in a few days to work together to answer some of these important questions. Again, I want to thank our most gracious hosts and the organizers of this conference, as well as all of you attendees for the time you're spending here today. I look forward to the discussion, and I thank you.